Start streaming right there. Right there, right there. Yeah. I'm wondering, can people hear me? Yeah, man. Maybe we live, maybe we ain't. Let me check this out. First live stream. This G shit, according to Mark. You heard? Yeah, I guess we on here. What's up, y'all? What's going down? About to start this podcast. You know what it is. I'd like to welcome everybody to the first episode of According to Mark. Biblical type shit. You know what it is. Let me get my little pages together. Boom, there we go. Today, we're here to talk about redemption. We're here to talk about receipts. We're here to talk about exhibits, evidence, proof beyond a reasonable doubt and by a preponderance. You know what I'm talking about? We gonna lay it all out. And by the time we get through laying all out, it won't be no excuses. It won't be no denial. I'm just here to set the record straight. So it won't be no excuses and everybody will go ahead and do the right thing. And like Jay say, get y'all a little $30 gift certificate, gift card. Y'all better thank Jace. He's a nice guy. But I told him about your $30 gift card for participating. Yeah, you get a $30 gift card for participating and doing your part. Now, the thing about doing your part is really simple, because your part is just simply doing the right thing. Let's not make this get more complicated than it needs to be. I'm just saying, I've been playing this farming simulation video game, recently. And shit, that harvesting process is a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's about to be harvest season. Before we jump on this tractor and start mowing down this grass, we're giving y'all an opportunity. But we are here to provide proof beyond a reasonable doubt, That's what we're really here for. So it's going to be like a little teaching, a little time traveling, a little fun. Hopefully we can have some fun. I'm not no comedian. I crack a couple of jokes and all, but I don't consider myself to be Eddie Murphy or nobody, but, I can do a little some shit. And that's my sidekick back there, Jace. I'm talking about betting nobody fuck with him. For real, though. But, yeah. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt by a preponderance of evidence. This is criminal and civil. But right now, we just going to start off with the civil part of it. Civil. We're going to be civil right now. Ain't no sense of jumping onto some gangster shit. Jazz, yet. On some G shit. Excuse me. It's not gangster. G stands for gospel. Some gospel shit. That book and Bible, according to Mark. I should have called this shit chapter 1. And it was written, it all started on the YouTube podcast. Y'all, man. Apparently, I've been the realest motherfucker around this bitch the whole time. And yeah, I am thinking, I'm tripping. I'm talking about, if this was Noah and it was about to flood, I'll be the nigga with the hammer and the nails like, God, we gonna drown all these motherfuckers? Okay, I guess I'll get this tar. So we can get on this boat and get to float. You know, that'll be me. But that's neither here nor there. You know, people might consider that bragging, but you can call it what you want to call it. You'll see how real this shit always been and how real this shit fit to be. You niggas don't even know. Y'all niggas don't even have a clue what's about to go down. But civilized. Be civilized, okay? Today, we're going to talk about the Bill of Rights. Something real simple we all heard of before. What happened to that? But let's explain what exactly this Bill of Rights is. Okay, sometime not too long ago, but a little bit back before, we're going to get into the details, but right now we just need to set up the foundation, lay out how these offenses have been perpetrated and against what laws, because this needs to be all legal. No emotional shit attached to it, no filler, just all facts. But anyway, I digress. Okay, a while back ago, what's known as, we'll just say, North America, belonged to the, we'll just say, indigenous people of North America. And those indigenous people so happen to be the children of God. So, God had a set of laws similar to the Ten Commandments, we all heard of that his children were to live by in order to prosper and live life more abundantly. And his laws consisted of what we have known as the Bill of Rights. So no matter what they tell you, the Bill of Rights are actually the laws that God placed to conduct in this land that we'll just say North America. That's what we're dealing with right now, America. So, just as the Ten Commandments, breaking these laws is a serious offense. Crossing these rights, hindering these rights is a serious offense, especially if you're hindering the right of God's children. You know who you are. But, like I said, I don't like to talk about it too much. I'm going to let the evidence speak for itself. So, we're going to watch a little film today. A little short film. Just hang in there. It's going to get deeper, but we got to lay out the foundation. Because this is the foundation. This is 10 rules. And then we're going to establish whether these 10 rules have been violated. Have these 10 rights been violated? When it comes to God's children, or have it been followed and respected while certain foreigners are in God's land, God's kingdom, mistreating his children? This story gonna start sounding real similar real soon, especially when I get to holler and let my people go and all of that, but I digress.
Accused of crimes.
Okay. Short film about the Bill of Rights. Here we go.
The Bill of Rights, as we know it today, were the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. And these amendments guaranteed individual liberty to make sure that citizens had a stated expectation for what the government could or could not do to them. And
we got Jason in the background.
Amendments to the Constitution.
You know how it go.
And these amendments guaranteed individual liberty to make sure that citizens had a...
All right, let's start this over. short introduction, but a thorough explanation of the Bill of Rights. Keep it simple.
The Bill of Rights, as we know it today, were the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. And these amendments guaranteed individual liberty to make sure that citizens had a stated expectation for what the government could or could not do to them. And you can kind of see here in many of these rights the legacy of the Revolutionary War and the kinds of government abuses that citizens in the colonies had feared. Now, I'm going to go over these very quickly. We'll spend a lot more time in other videos talking more about these amendments, but I want to give you an overall sense of what they're driving at. Now,
okay, she's correct. It's like it's prophecy. Today we're just gonna look at the foundation of these rights. We're gonna, on later videos, we're gonna go into whether or not, I shouldn't say how, whether or not these laws were violated, these rights were violated, or whether these rights were upheld in honor, especially when dealing with the children of God. But yeah, let's go.
Now, the first 4 amendments guarantee individual liberties. These are freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, freedom to ask the government for redress of grievances or to deal with a problem that the government may have caused in your life, the right to bear arms and assemble militias. State and local militias had made the Revolutionary War a success for the United States. A ban on quartering soldiers in homes. Recall that the Quartering Act, when the British government said that the colonies had to put up soldiers in their homes, was a major driver of revolution. And
I just want to point out right here, not only can a home be your domicile, a home can also be your home front. A home can also be your native land that you call home. So when it's mentioning quartering soldiers in your home, that spreads vaster than just at a address in the neighborhood. Just keep that in mind. You got to think on at least 3 levels up in here. We thinking 3D up in here. Let's go.
A ban on unreasonable search and seizure. That is, it would be necessary for the government to get a warrant to enter your home or to search your belongings. The next 4 amendments in the Bill of Rights deal with protections for people accused of crimes. And again, you see the legacy of the Revolutionary War in the idea that the Crown had had too much power to persecute individuals. So this includes things like the right to due process. That is, to make sure that all the steps of following the law are taken. A ban on being tried twice for the same crime. Rights to a speedy and public trial. A jury of your peers. To even have a jury in cases that don't have to do with violent crimes, but rather civil dispute.
Criminal. Has God's children, let's just get right to it. Have God's children been respected in the judicial system? Has God's children been presented with equal opportunity justice? I'm not here to answer the question. I'm just here to ask the questions. Somebody else is going to have to answer for these questions and to these questions. I'm just here to ask the questions and to get the people to think as I lay out this evidence beyond a reasonable doubt by a preponderance of evidence. Let's roll.
And a ban on excessive bail and cruel and unusual punishment. Basically, this is a guarantee that the government will respect the rights of individuals. Now, one of the arguments made against including a Bill of Rights in the Constitution was that listing out those rights might then mean that they were the only rights, and that by listing out these rights in particular, they might be forfeiting their liberties in other ways. So the 9th and 10th Amendments attempt to deal with that worry. They say in the 9th Amendment, any right that isn't listed here is still retained by the people.
Okay, let me explain this, because it's kind of vague. Non-enumerated rights are retained by the people. That's just another way of saying human rights. The right to be a human. The right to walk down the street without being harassed or oppressed. The right to feel safe in your home without government organizations kicking in your door. The right to be able to speak freely without being assassinated at Autobahn theaters and things of that nature. Just basic human rights. Rights that shouldn't even have to be written. These are just basic human, what's the word I'm looking for? Attributes. As if you are a human. We're not beasts. But I digress.
This is not an exhaustive list. This is not the complete list of all the rights retained by the people.
Think about that and let her lay out 9 again.
Amendment, any right that isn't listed here is still retained by the people. So this is not an exhaustive list. This is not the complete list of all the rights retained by the people. And the 10th Amendment is slightly different, but kind of on the same line. They say that if this Constitution has not delegated a right directly to the federal government, then that right is reserved to the states or the people. So the federal government can only do the things that are listed in this Constitution. It is a limited government, limited by this document. On the other hand, the rights of the people are unlimited. So if the Constitution doesn't say that the federal government can do it, that's then a right of the states or the people.
My friend used to pay $163 for car insurance. Now look at how much he pays.
Hi, and welcome back to Heimler's History, U.S.
Basically, what that was saying is
the Bill of Rights, as we know it today,
have the right to choose their own state of living, regardless of the federal government. So, like I said, today we're not going to be going in depth, but I just like to lay out a couple of key points and give people something to think about. Have these whites? Let me find this. Let me do this right here. Let me bring this up. Bill of Rights. Trying to get something people can get a good look at. Not that one. What the? Okay. Excuse me, people. This is my first time trying to get this stuff together. Find me a good example. The first one usually the best one, so let's roll with that. All right, let's visit that. Boom, Bill of Rights. Now, like I said, I'm not here to present my personal opinions. I'm here to just ask the questions. Have these rights been respected and upheld when it comes to God's children, the indigenous people of this land, we're going to get more into the proven indigeneity. I already have other videos on my channel if you want to check those out. But right now, we need to get to the foundation. We're sticking to this one point. Have these rights been respected and upheld when it comes to the indigenous people of this land? Or have they been violated and abused and disregarded like it won't be no consequences? That's the question. That's really all of this short video is about. Just to ask the questions. Have the indigenous people of this land, see the people who I'm talking to, they know what I'm talking about. Everybody else, just go to them other videos on my channel. We're going to work our way to that point. But I'm addressing this to the people who know what I'm talking about. The people who blocking me before I even get started. I'm addressing y'all. We here. For real. All right. Have the people been allowed to just speak their mind? Just speak their mind. Have the people been allowed to protect themselves